All right, welcome to a brand new edition of Dry Heat with Mike Davis and Sound Off Sports. I'm lucky to be joined by two great people, creators, comedians. And listen, if you love comedy and you love wine, In Poor Taste is going to be something you're going to want to learn about. We got Ethan Cavanagh and Sweeney Preston with us, guys.
Hello.
Thanks so much for
G'day.
being here. You guys got a brand new show at the Shops at Crystals.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff. You're from Australia, right? We got two Australians in the studio.
Someone's done their research.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wow,
hey.
my God, you don't miss a beat, do you?
It might have been the g'day that I launched into, but I think he's done his research.
I really have. Lighthouse Art Space. We've known a lot of great shows to be in that space, but I think this is the first time we got comedians occupying that room. This is where they have had the Van Gogh exhibition in there. So it's a very immersive space. A lot of people throw that around, but tell us about In Poor Taste. You guys are the creators. How did you come up with this?
Yeah, so I think it's probably the furthest thing from art that's ever been in the Lighthouse art space. So we're actually quite proud of that mantle that we hold. But yeah, we came up with the show. We've been doing it for 3 years. So when we say it's a new show, it's new to Las Vegas, but
Right.
we've been,
Not new to us.
not new to us. We've been running around all over the world doing it left, right, and center.
Getting it just right for Vegas. Yeah, finally.
This
Now we're
is-
here.
Everything's led up.
When was the first? Where was the first show? It was in Australia, but you've been in Edinburgh, you've been in Europe, all over, right?
Yeah. The first show was in Melbourne in a tiny little 27-seat wine bar.
Ooh.
And basically we just wanted some free wine out of them. And then they were like, cool, here's 60 bottles of wine. We've just opened a brand new wine bar. Come and do something with the space when you can. And we were like, yeah, no worries. Absolutely. That's fine.
Just the sheer idea that we would have to work for our wine is just like yuck, ew, gross.
And then, yeah, months later, they were like, hey, you're going to come and do something in this venue that we've opened? We were like, oh, yeah, God, we better do that. And then we were like, well, we'll just put this one thing, because we'd already drank the wine, so we couldn't give it back.
Right, exactly.
And so we were like, I guess we'll do something there. And we put on this one thing. We were like, it's a kind of a comedy wine thing. It's a wine tasting, but there's jokes. We didn't really know. We did one as a trial and it went really well, and it sold out very quickly. And that was a big part of the reason we decided to do some more.
Well,
And now we're here.
and you guys have been touring all around doing this, selling out shows. So give us a breakdown of what the experience is like for here in Vegas. If somebody attends this show, like I'm going, I think on the 15th or something like that.
Yes.
What is the show like?
So the show is five wines you'll taste throughout the show. So
So
some
it's a
people-
flight.
Did you just forget the word wine?
Some
What are they called?
people are beers. No, hang on, that can't be right.
We got it's like a flight tasting. We get all
Yeah, so we basically, a lot of people get confused. They think like that they don't get 5 wines during the show. Like they're like, oh, do you get to drink the wines too? I'm like, yeah, that is like the whole point. Like
You
can't
do,
drink
we
the-
do, everybody gets
So
to drink
you
the
and are
wine.
you guys drunk? You guys are getting drunk.
Well,
No,
Or have you built up?
our lawyer's not here, so we're not going to say anything to that
But
effect.
you've
We
built
taste
up
the wines.
Okay, you taste them.
Yeah,
Okay.
we taste the wines. Everyone's tasting the wines. You get 5 pours during the show. So basically, we pour them as well for you. So it's this nice little intimate process.
So there's no sommelier. You guys are actually
There's a
going.
sommelier.
Oh, there is a sommelier.
It's you guys.
No, they're there.
there is. Oh.
There's a third person on the stage with us who is our kind of comedic punching bag, who is the sommelier, who's just trying to do a wine tasting the whole
Okay.
way through. They're just trying to get through a wine tasting, and we're there basically derailing them at every single opportunity that we can.
Okay.
Yeah, I can imagine it would actually just be the worst experience for them. But we have a great time, and everyone else seems to as well. So, we've kept it going.
It's the only wine tasting where, like, I don't know if you've done many wine tastings. Or
I've
been
done
to
like
wineries,
once or
Oh, they
cellars.
suck.
Yeah,
They're
they
so
suck,
bad.
man. Like,
They're
the best bit's the wine.
horrible.
And so this is the only, like, wine tasting you'll ever go to where while the sommelier is talking, you can stop them and go, hey, real quick, what are you talking about?
Right, exactly. Well, but most people, they do like this. Remember that movie Sideways? They do the version where they kind of like they want to be fancy smancy with everything and just kind of make pretend like they know everything about wine. I don't do that, so I'm happy to have the comedy in the fold.
But once you've seen our show, you'll be able to. You'll be able to pretend like you know.
Oh, okay. So that's good.
Because we teach a little bit about wine, but we mostly teach how to, pretend as if you know what you're talking about.
Okay, now let's talk about your backgrounds because I know you both have been doing this a really long time. I know Sweeney, you keep mentioning the research aspect of things, and you were a journalist for about some early in your career, like a
Yeah.
media pop journalist.
I like to think that I'm still early in my career. I hope. We'll see what happens.
Mate, you are on the way down.
What were you doing as a journalist?
Very little. No, I would wake up. So I did 3 years at a big publication, news sort of youth publication in Australia called Pedestrian. I wrote, I think it was about 600 articles in that time.
That's a good amount.
Yeah, it was like the number is bonkers. Like I was kind of on the tail end of like the real everyone was reading articles at that time, and I sort of slowly a lot of changes happened in media around that time. But I think the overall number is like 8 million people or something read my article.
And what were you writing about? Was it like what kind of stuff?
All the important stuff. The Kardashians, Taylor Swift, like every celebrity breakup that happened, I was all over it. There was a period of time there I was very encyclopedic about it. Like you could ask me anything about pop
really,
I would know. Yeah.
And prior to that, if I'm correct here, so you went to where did you go to college?
University of Melbourne.
And then there you were a part of the Melbourne U Law Review, which is like a comedy troupe. And it has some famous alums like Cate Blanchett.
Very famous. So she did it, I think it was back in the 80s. I might have been 70s. But they were on TV for it. It was incredible. That was like everyone.
It was like a Second City kind of vibe.
Yeah. So basically there was, you get kind of, an audition process happens. There's 10 people. I think ours was down from 130. And you have to write a sketch and you go and perform it. And if they think you're funny, you get to like the callbacks and then you eventually do the show.
And who's the judges? Older upperclassmen?
The previous
years. It was
years.
Cate Blanchett that.
A big free schedule that year. A lot of gaps.
Nothing on.
And what so like 100 and something people showed out. You said, and only 10 make the cut. You were one of the 10. What was the sketch you did?
What was it about? It was about.
You don't even remember?
No, because I wrote so many during that whole process.
Yeah, but wasn't the audition like a crazy? Didn't you have a lot of anxiety? Wasn't it nerve-wracking?
Yeah, maybe that's why I can't remember. No, I think it was about 2 people. Oh no, that's what it was. There were like 2 sort of magicians running around on stage, and the joke I think by the end was that they were doing audience participation and something terrible had happened, but in the end it was like a joke. I don't know. I'm explaining it really badly, but it was very funny at the time, I'm told. But otherwise I may not be here discussing Cate Blanchett today. There's so many degrees of separation between me and her.
Oh, yeah.
I'm willing to put that on my bio, I will say.
Hey, you share good company there.
It's like that Wikipedia thing where you can like find, in any 7 clicks, you can probably find something about Hitler. Like, it's a very similar vibe where you just go, if you really try hard enough, you can probably get 3 clicks away from Cate Blanchett.
His only takes 4 clicks to Hitler as well.
Yeah.
Listen, 4 clicks to Hitler. Not something I thought would come up. And Ethan, what about you? You've been doing comedy, winning comedy festivals and competitions. You're performing everywhere. When was the first time you were on stage? How old were you?
I started irresponsibly young doing this job. It wasn't really a job when you're 14, but
I like how your own bio on your website is like you were diagnosed as a stand-up comedian at a very young age, because you're evoking the sense that you just didn't have a choice.
It's a horrible condition to have to live with. I mean, your whole family worries about you. You know, your employment prospects go through the floor. It's a terrible condition. But yeah, I started doing stand-up when I was 14 years old. Was my first
That's
gig.
early.
Yeah, too early, I reckon, because there's footage. And I was like, man, I was so confident, like, without any real reason to be. I actually found the footage about 6 months ago and I watched it back.
And what were some of the jokes?
Really insightful gear about, crossing the oval at school. Really cool stuff where it is totally relatable.
What is crossing the oval?
So it's like walking across the field.
Oh, okay.
Why did the boy cross the oval? To get to the other side.
Yeah, it was better than that, at least, which is good. But yeah, basically
drinking wine
at school. Yeah, I was doing a wine tasting at the age of 15.
Bag at that point. Yeah.
So basically, I did a unit at school where my very, very, very private school was like, we're going to teach stand-up comedy for year 9s, and we were like, so 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds, and I was like, sure, why not? That sounds like it'll be easy. And it was the first time they'd ever run the class, and I did it. And then at the end of the term, they put on a big stand-up comedy night. And I hosted that show. I did, I think, a 15, 20-minute set in the end, and then I closed that show. I was on stage for about half of the entire show. I really just took to it, and then my teacher was like, yeah, there's some comedy competitions you can do. And then I did well.
So you took to it. You probably did really well, and you got the bug.
Well, yeah, I kind of weirdly, it's such a weird thing, but like overnight as like a 14-year-old, I was like, maybe I could do this. Like I kind of just thought about it. I had this moment. I was just like, well, someone, like there are comedians out there. It can be done. why don't I try and do it? And
Yeah.
then one day I'll hopefully we'll be able to.
It's amazing. Hey, you guys are really doing it, though. I mean, touring all around the country, making money. I mean, to get to that level, it's a good thing.
Were you about to say making money there?
Making money because
money!
that's a very
You're like,
important
"Oh,
technicality.
That's probably not what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys are doing okay. Looking back to when you were growing up, who were the influences that you guys had? Because Australia's a little. I'm curious. Do you look to the States and a lot of those or maybe not?
I'm going into bat for Australia's comedy scene here. I think we have pound for pound the best comedy scene in the world per capita. I think that is like, and if you put it down to like population, we've got 27 million people. We have some of the best comedic talent in the world. We've got the world's biggest comedy festival in Melbourne.
Really?
And I think a lot of the time people don't see that.
I don't.
From overseas, like they would not even know.
I wouldn't really know. I'm trying to I'm trying to think in my head mid-sentence.
Well, the only ones
who I
you
would
know would be people that have kind of left the scene, like the one like
a Jim Jeffries of the world.
Jim Jeffries.
But what's incredible is like we have so many incredible talents, but there's just not heaps of opportunities for them, especially on the world stage. And so a lot of it exists in a bubble. But I think from doing this touring that we've been doing internationally across the UK and the US this year, it's been pretty crazy for us to see just how high up Australia sits on the kind of ranking of global talent. It's just like you see some stuff like politely, especially here in Vegas, where you go, wow, so like acts at home are doing this just 10 times better.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I'm sure it's like in my mind, I'm trying to think, but like a Jermaine Clement, but he's New Zealand, I think, right? So
we're different countries.
I know that.
Yeah,
I know
similar.
that. I was thinking
So you've got New Zealand here, which is like there's like a north and a south. Then you've got Australia over here. It's slightly bigger,
Right.
slightly different accents. Fish and
Exactly.
chips versus fish and chops. They're
But
slightly
it's-
different, but you can hear.
I
it.
get that, but I was trying to think so I know he's New Zealand, but what about there's like a guy on HBO when I was growing up who did he would dress as all different characters. Was he English or was he also
Barry Humphries? No.
No.
Are you talking about like Dame Edna?
No.
No.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. But you guys wouldn't be in Sacha Baron Cohen or Adam Sandler or Gervais or any. Would those guys influence you or no?
Sure, but
Chappelle, not really.
Not in a big way. It's almost like a different thing for Australians.
Completely.
And that's like,
Interesting.
I think Australians do really well in the British scene as well. Like over
Yeah.
in the UK, we're kind of, it's easier for us to get in there because the sense of humor is much easier. So
And the visa situation is
it's much easier as well. But it's like a lot of people move from, say, Melbourne or Sydney over to London to try and make their careers happen. And
very
then they do better.
fascinating.
Yeah.
But it's,
So
what
how,
is interesting.
but this show in poor taste, but it translates audiences. So a lot of the comedy that you're doing it's global. It works.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I think alcohol is the language of the universe.
Yeah,
100%.
especially wine. I think there's so much
Especially
around
in
it.
Vegas as well. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We kind of do have two separate scripts for the show. We've got an Australian version, which has way more C-bombs in it. And then we've got like a US UK version of it, which we've taken out all the C-bombs. In Scotland, we put them back in again because those people love it. But we've tailored the show to different markets for that. But I think the core of the show is the same. It's like being cheeky, being silly,
Yeah.
two fools versus one king on a stage. And then like using the sort of juxtaposition of those
I like it.
elements to create comedy.
And that's almost a uniquely Australian thing to be able to do as well. It's like you meet a lot of acts who are like, my act is my act. I'm not changing anything. If they don't like it, they're wrong. All right, I'm not going to play there anymore. Whereas Australians are like, cool, I've got this, like for the first time, I've got a global opportunity. What do I need to do to localize it to make it work? And I think you see that in the acts who do make it out of Australia is people are like, oh, wow, this guy works so hard. And it's like, no, he's just been clawing for like opportunities for 4 or 5 years until someone from another market has like given them an opportunity on a bigger stage. And so it's like when we do finally get a little bit of traction, it's just like we're ready to work so much harder. Like no one's used to waiting for an agent to pick them up and make them a star.
It's a smart thing. You guys are really looking at it as like a real profession and like not the same way that somebody would look at being an accountant and they have to do the work and think about how they have to craft their career to make it. You guys are really making you're students of the game, which I love. It's a good way to
Playing that game, baby.
But we're also in a unique position as well of being like, we're both 27, but like
I know, but you're so young to have that mentality.
I've now got 13 years of experience since my very first gig, so it's like
you've been around for a while.
Yeah, it's like we're very lucky that we got started early because it gives us, a professional experience that is years beyond.
What have you seen here in Vegas? That because I love that you were so honest and forthright to mention this. So what have you seen here in Vegas that you think is just being done on such a better scale in Australia?
I'm gonna be very careful here.
No,
careful.
no, you don't. You don't have to be careful. Who cares? Just say it.
Hang on. How do I describe this? The general sentiment for me for shows in Vegas.
Yeah, I really want to know.
We were talking with our producer about this, and it comes from this idea that the commercial should come first and the artistic should come second. So if you've got a venue and you want a show in the venue, you're going to commission a bunch of people to make a show for that venue. The show doesn't exist without the venue. The show doesn't exist outside of them wanting a money spinner for their casino. And when you work backwards from there, that's when the issues arise. And a lot of people going to these shows are coming for 72 hours to Vegas and then they're going to go home again. And for them, it's probably a great experience because what do they have to compare it to? Sure, whatever. But the fact remains that, like, you know, back in Australia at the Adelaide Fringe, the world's second largest arts festival, you will get things that are 10 times better, but probably just won't ever get the opportunity to tour nearly as broadly because they're like 10-person productions. The traveling costs of bringing a team of 10 people across the world from Australia is enormous. Even within Australia, if you fly 5 hours in Australia, you'll still be in Australia. Like, that's how massive the country is for how sparsely, densely populated it is. And so, yeah, there's definitely a few shows in Vegas that have sort of worked backwards on that premise and have left you with this sort of like in-between experience of like, oh, sure, that was fine. There was probably 15 minutes of good bits there.
Like, we went and saw a show a couple of weeks ago. It was one of the resident shows at one of the casinos. And the show was like, it was probably, 80 minutes? And we were like, that would have been a great 40 and a really, really good 20 minutes of show. But like, I went out and I asked my producer who got us the tickets, I was like, was that show commissioned for that space? Because you can just tell that whoever was told to make the show had to use all of the features of the venue and everything was like perfectly designed in the show to use the space, but there was not a big creative kind of...
Is this comedy or magic?
Well, it's like one of those classic variety shows. It's like a little bit of acrobatics, a little bit of circus, you know, all that kind of stuff, some dance and all that kind of stuff that you see in a lot of these kind of headline shows that happen in the casinos. Whereas, at Australia, there's a lot of great acts doing the same format of show.
Right.
But your jaw is on the floor the entire time, and it's like the quickest hour of entertainment that you'll see. Whereas here, we're both sitting in the booth going, half an hour to go.
Watching going on.
Yeah.
It is interesting with the bar seems to have been lowered. I think even just living here in Vegas in terms of who can command a residency, the types of talent that you're seeing.
No offense taken. That's absolutely fine.
I think it's like that. You know, I'm recognizing this. So this begs the question. I think you guys are thinking, Sweeney, about your working backwards with the venue. You guys are in an interesting situation because you have a very unique space. So you're saying, you know, at your specific space, you have so much to work with.
How dare people utilize the venue?
Right. But so do you really not do that? Or do you do that?
Well,
because
I think our show was written before this. Our show was developed.
So you just lean into it and use certain elements to enhance it, but you could be doing this in a black, you know, room that has has nothing. And
we could do it in this room at this table right now.
And it would be a lot of fun. But yeah, it's like I think we had a finished product. We've then, since getting the space at Lighthouse, which is like an awesome opportunity, it kind of gave us a moment to tear the whole thing down with the bits that work and then add something to it as well, rather than starting from this brief of this has to use the space and that is it.
Right. So a lot of it, it seems like a lot of it is like people would just think first about, ooh, look at the technology, look at the things that we have here, but the jokes would be flat. They wouldn't have the foundation of a show and all that kind of stuff working.
Yeah, it's true. The thing that, you know, markets people to a show like something like that isn't what's going to keep them looking at you for 70 minutes straight or however long the show lasts.
Yeah.
So yeah, what might necessarily get someone in the door is not going to get them to sit there and not look at their phone.
Yeah. And it's like for us, we really had to work very closely with the team for this season to make sure that what we were doing was not detracting from the original intention of the show. Right. And so if you come and see the show, you'll see as well the projection. So basically we put up the vineyards from where all the wines were made geographically. So
Well,
like
that's a
we
good
have
idea.
French wine where you're in, Provence and there's lavender fields and you've got the vineyards on one side. We've got, Italy, 5 wines from around the world. So you kind of have this, international travel feel to it, right?
So it
but
transports you.
But that's just while the wines are being poured out for you, kind of in what is normally breaks in the show. And so it's kind of a nice thing for you to soak in. But then once the show commences again, it just got those projections are gone. So then it's like and then we're back in the room doing the show.
So we're back in a beautiful wine cellar, which has got little candles all around.
Oh,
It's very
that's
dark
cool.
and moody. It's really nice.
I like that. Now, what about you guys as together? Because the whole Sweeney and Ethan, you almost have like this comedy duo kind of thing that you've been working on. How did you guys find each other?
We both started really young. We both started when we were like pretty much the same age.
So
high school.
14. Like,
And there's no one doing comedy then, because also you're not allowed into pubs at that point.
Right,
So
you can't go
really,
in.
You can't really do gigs.
so
And
you guys met actually doing stand-up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Because it's like there's not, you don't have a lot of peers when you're, 17 years old.
And what, you just thought each other, you just became fast friends? Or
I have very little recollection
Yeah.
of that period.
Well,
He just kind of appeared in my life, but now I'm...
Now I'm here. Now I've shared a wall with him
Yeah.
so many times since, and sometimes.
But
a bit.
why did you think that you guys could collab?
We started writing together very early on as just kind of like when you don't have any peers, you're just looking for a bit of a community. And like we lived in different parts of the state and it was just like there's kind of two 17-year-old comedians at that point. So it's like we kind of just found each other, ended up writing together, and then we both had half a show. And so we were like for our first kind of tour that we ever went on, which was at the start of 2020. So it was a brief tour.
Great time. to start
Perfect timing.
comedy.
And so then we did, half a show each, and we put it on as kind of one show and toured to other parts of Australia. And then that went well, and then we had another idea, and then that went well, and then we had another idea, and then that went well, and then that kind of snowballed, and then we were doing our own stuff still alongside it all, and we still are, but then In Poor Taste happened, and then it was like kind of boom.
Yeah, In Poor Taste has kind of become our job, and then everything else is like almost a bit of a side hustle at this point. Like In Poor Taste is so we've done the show 250 something times.
Yeah, nearly 260. Yeah.
So it's become a brand of itself, and that's
Pretty
why you
much.
guys, a lot of people at home, are going to be able to catch this towards the end, the 31st, I believe, of January. But you guys are not going to actually be front and center. It's going to be other comedians coming in to take your place, because you guys have, as the creators and comedians of In Poor Taste, you've built a brand now that is almost beyond you to an extent.
Yeah.
So
which is crazy.
like our vision for it is we want the most amount of people across planet Earth to see In Poor Taste and experience a comedy wine tasting. So we think the best way to do that is for us to train up 2 other people and potentially 2 more other people, depending on what happens, with maybe other shows elsewhere in the world. But yeah, basically for them to do it, have the skills, have the sort of know-how of the script and the structure, and then be able to perform it here as well.
So
yeah.
the 2 new guys, who are they, and how did you find them?
So we've been doing auditions for all of the last 2 weeks, basically.
Here in Vegas.
Here in Vegas, and we've only just signed 2 brand new kind of clones who are really funny in their own right.
Yeah, it's kind of horrifying. Like,
Yeah.
we're watching them and we're like, oh, are they better than what?
There are some in some of the auditions, some of the acts brought jokes that we were like, oh man, that needs to go in our version of the show. That's
Wow.
hilarious. And so it's been a really fun new challenge for us, because we're like,
Interesting.
initially we were worried, we were like, we're not going to be there to have the quality control. Is it not going to be as good? But I actually think it's going to be better, because these guys have a total fresh energy. They're really funny, and they're bringing their own flair to it, and kind of a refreshed set
Are
of
they
eyes.
similar age, or
A little bit older.
A little bit
than
older,
us.
similar energy. They'll get announced very shortly.
Yeah. One's a comedian, one is an actor, but they've both got great comedic chops. And sort
and
of
they were working here locally? in
Yeah,
Vegas?
they're both local.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Trying to get
they're
to
both
it.
they're both really excited about it as well, which is just like, I think not that we don't love doing the show. It's just like when you've done 300 of them, you are, in terms of creative ideas, it's like it does get to a point where you're like, I think I've given this everything I can in terms of development, and then having 2 new people come along and be like, what if we do this and this and this? And it's like, yeah, absolutely, this is awesome. And it's like we're working with them to tweak the show so it suits their voice, and it like they feel really comfortable doing.
Wow.
Like we've had to take out all the Australianisms as part of the show, because there are bits in the show where it's like, this happened to us at a party back home in Melbourne, and that's funny when we're doing it.
Yeah.
But one of the guys is from like LA, so it's like that doesn't work from his voice,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, we had to take out all the references to the word mate.
Yeah.
Because
Mate.
out of an American accent, mate just sounds
Doesn't work.
really
Wrong.
awkward.
Yeah.
And I
Bloody.
honestly shudder when I hear it.
Strange. It's cool that you guys usually performers are very they don't have the mechanism internally to want other people to be better than them or to there's a
Well, we stand to make a lot of money if it goes well. So
We have a huge investment in them being as good, if not better than us.
but it's okay. But it's still, I think a lot of comedians would not even, they wouldn't see it wouldn't compute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be one of those things to be like, no, this lives and dies with me because of my artistic so it's
Yeah.
fascinating that you guys have that approach. But what else do you want for your careers? Like I'm assuming this is going to free you guys up. Not only, you're going to be making money from this and it's going to be able to be a show that's toured and a lot of people can see it all over the globe. But what do you want for yourselves personally?
I think for us, it's like we really want this to kind of, like we've talked about, put the caliber of Australian talent kind of on the map a little bit more. Like I want it to be a bit more of a pathway where people can kind of use this as an example or a blueprint of something that works and be like, there is a place for, like we talked about 3 years ago when we had this idea, like our careers were like very small and in a lot of ways they still are. It's just like the last 12 months, like everything has gone kind of boom for us and we have toured all over the world and we have been able to like see and do really cool things and it's all because of this great show. And so we want the show to be able to fly and it not just to die out because we have our next idea or anything like that. We want to be able to keep working on stuff, but we want people to be able to see the show because it's better than it's ever been as well.
What if you guys had a guy come to your audition who was the funniest dude you've ever met, but he's allergic to red blends?
Well, this is a great opportunity to mention that we have a non-alcoholic wine in the show.
Oh.
If
Yeah.
you would like to come along, if you're pregnant or an absolute nerd, you're allowed to come along and have a non-alcoholic set of 5 wines, which is
Pregnant.
if our PR manager
Pregnant or an absolute nerd?
We
That's
don't
a funny one.
discriminate. It's always been a really important value
Is
for
the-
us as a company to be able to take money off everybody.
See, I love that. Is there a lot of audience participation in this show?
We like to refer to the show as being interactive.
Okay.
So it's not the sort of audience participation where if you go to a comedy club and you're sweating because you're like, oh my God, I'm going to get asked 100 questions. Like that's not going to happen.
Right.
But if you do want to be involved, there is opportunities to be involved.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not gonna like go through your wallet and like call your mum. Well, we might if your
We
mum
might call your
calls, we
mum,
might
yeah,
we
yeah.
might answer. But
There you
we're
go.
not
I mean,
gonna
that's
call
our
your
main
mum.
demographic
Yeah.
right there.
Moms would love this. I bet this is also a good date night, right? A lot of good
big
da-
time.
Is this a lot? You see a lot of date nights.
Yeah.
See a lot of date nights.
You see the good ones, you see the bad ones.
We haven't had a divorce yet,
Yet.
That's
but we hold out hope one day.
Yeah.
it'll
One
happen.
day.
But yeah, we get a lot of birthdays, a lot of date nights, a lot of anniversaries, all that kind of stuff.
A lot of intergenerational groups as well. So like we've had a mum, a daughter, and a grandma.
Intergenerational.
come
Here,
on.
here that is often couples. Actually, the intergenerational
yeah.
groups is an old man and a young lady. But
that could happen in Vegas too. That happens a lot.
I bet he has a Ferrari.
Yes, 100%. Listen, so Sweeney and Ethan, two guys who have built this incredible brand in poor taste. It's been global. Now it's going to be a phenomenon as you guys go beyond and have just more and more people bringing the show to audiences all around the globe. But right now here in Vegas, you can have it at Lighthouse Art Space, at the shops, at Crystals. Guys, so you are going to be on board for how many more shows?
I think we've another 5 or 6 shows, and then we're going to do a little bit of kind of alternating with the new cast as well. We've also got some really exciting wine experts coming to join us as well. We've got Andre Houston Mack, who's coming next weekend. He's like one of the big heavyweights in the wine scene. He's got like
Sommelier
million
kinda
followers.
guy.
Yeah.
He's got like 1 million followers.
Oh, wow.
It's what, he's flying from New York to do the show. 'Cause
Yeah.
He caught wind of it. I had a call with him when I was in LA a few weeks ago, and he was like, "Man, this is a crazy concept. I'm gonna see if I can make this work and come over for the show to do it on a Friday night." So
Wow.
it's pretty wild. I think a lot of people in the wine industry are starting to sort of look to it now and go, "Oh, actually, this is probably how a wine tasting should run." So it's initially the audience was very like comedically centered, like people who like going to comedy festivals, going to a
Right.
comedy show. But now it's like more and more it's become sort of a discussion point within the wine industry. Like we get a lot of wine people sort of following along and messaging us and liking the posts.
Have you been like in, what are those magazines, like those Wine Spectator?
We were in
magazine?
Decanter, which was cool. That's a big UK one where it was the first review we ever had for the show that talked about the wines. We were like, hang on, wait, say how good we are first before you say how the quality of the reds were.
And they didn't give us a star rating because they don't do that. Like, just like, that's not a thing that they do.
Right.
They're not like an entertainment magazine.
Right.
They're like, this is great, but totally useless.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But everyone, it's funny because everyone in the wine world who looks at our website goes, oh, you got mentioned in Decanter. And we're like,
yeah, whatever.
We didn't know what that was until the day that they arrived. So,
so you guys really are doing, it's fascinating. You're really making strides, not only in the comedic space, but in the wine space as well. What is your favorite wine? You want to leave us with that? Do you have a
I love a
particular...
Tempranillo, I think. Or like, I feel like New World Chardonnay also is.
Okay.
People like to poo-poo Chardonnay, but Chardonnay's back. I'm telling you.
Okay, it's back.
I like a Gamay or a Merlot. I think my favorite wines are like curl up in front of the fire type red wines at the end of a night.
He loves a dad
and
wine.
do you guys do the whole swirl and the
only ever to make
smell?
fun of people who are actually doing it.
Yeah, no, not seriously, not in earnest.
Okay, all right. Well, we got to
Nothing in our show is in earnest. If you come to our show expecting a legitimate wine tasting, you've come to the wrong show.
We have because we pour out all the wines that people get in, and we kind of chat to everyone at the tables and get to know everyone before the show starts. And all of the wines are tasted out of the same glass that you're given at the start, and we go kind of in a logical order, so it doesn't really matter. But some people will sit and go, whereas we're pouring their wines, they'll be like, oh, do we not get a fresh glass for the new wine? And I'm like, you are in the wrong place. If that is what you are looking for, you are totally the wrong market.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of people like to change up their glass because the remnants of the other. But for this kind of show, who cares?
I mean, the people coming to our show, I don't care. They're like, whatever, pour more if anything. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, listen, Ethan, Sweeney, In Poor Taste. You want to make sure you go check this out. It's going to be going on for a long time through January 31st at the Lighthouse Art Space at the shops at Crystals. But you can catch these guys a few more times. So we can make sure you go check Sweeney and Ethan out before they depart. Guys, I'm wishing you all the best on your journey. This sounds like you guys have found a really special concept here, and I'm wishing you the best of luck.
This is the most well-researched interview we've ever done
in
in
it's
Vegas.
really
well
refreshing.
Done. Hey, it's incredible.
So nice to be at an interview. It's not like, where do you get your ideas from?
No, I'm happy we got to talk. Listen, I was very fascinated in you guys. You're very funny. I think this is going to be interesting. I'm very curious to see what this is like. I like that you guys are fascinating to me because most comedians I've interviewed have a very particular sensibility that is a strangeness about them, and you guys actually seem almost more like tech CEO. Like you guys could
be pretty kooky behind closed doors.
I don't know. You guys are just like regular dudes who could be in business. Like you guys are normal people, who just seem to be very funny. But maybe
we'll be selling an import taste crypto by the end of the year. Don't worry.
Maybe it's an Australian
NFT.
Maybe it's an Australian thing, But it's just you guys are very, normal. Guy, it doesn't seem like you're.
Yeah, not a lot of people would come on the podcast in America and say our country's better at comedy than you.
No,
but I also think that's part of the Australian charm. You got to back yourself. You got to come over into new spaces and be like, "This is."
I like that.
This is mine now.
But do you know what I'm saying? Like, how a lot of comedians are very, especially American comedians they have debilitating kind of,
You're trying not to say a diagnosis right now, aren't you?
But you know what I'm saying? Like, they have a lot of, they could be depressive. They could be manic. They could have different kinds of qualities that kind of feed into why they're so good on stage, but it doesn't help them in their personal lives. You know?
We find a lot of comedians don't help themselves in their personal lives.
For us, I think this show has almost made us appreciate how much you can get out of just being... we want the show to feel like you're in our lounge room. We're all having a bit of a wine and a bit of a laugh together. And by the end, we have got lifelong friends that we have made out of audience members from this show.
Both of our girlfriends.
Really?
Both of our girlfriends.
Both of your girlfriends? Whoa. This is, okay, we got to extend.
You dog.
We have to extend this interview now. Hold the phone.
And she is a lifelong friend.
You're saying both of your respective girlfriends were audience members.
Not in. We met them through the show.
Yeah.
You met them through the show in Vegas or Australia?
In Adelaide, both of them.
Both of them in Adelaide.
Were they at the same show?
No, that would be crazy.
So
one year apart.
It's the same girl.
Wait, what's yours called?
Wait, all right, hold on. This is my favorite topics. I love learning about this. Tell which one happened first, yours or
That'd be
yours?
me.
Okay, so what happened? So
I actually I met your girlfriend before you did.
Is that right?
She was outside after the show and
That's
everyone was
right.
having a chat.
Yeah.
And then I don't think you even met her properly that night, but then...
Not really, and then we linked up months later.
Yeah.
So do you? Because this would be me if I were you guys. Good-looking guys, mustache looks good on you, Sweeney.
Thank you.
You know, you probably did that before it even became a thing. You know, which I
I
like.
was all over it, mate. Yeah.
That's good.
Well,
So-
the irony of it is that the poster image for the show features me without a mustache, and that photo was taken like 3 weeks before I decided to grow one. So everyone looks at the
Smart.
poster and goes, hang on.
Yeah, no one
what?
expected that photo to be on a billboard 3 years later, did they?
It's
thought it was the one
it's
and
good
done.
though. I'm here for it. But my thing would be, you guys are good-looking guys. You're funny. You can talk to people. You're pouring the drinks for the audience members before they arrive. You're interacting. Do you see this future girlfriend in the audience, and does like something go off in your head? Like, okay, this.
It was almost the opposite where, so...
He was like, who's that grub in the audience?
Get away from me, you creep. She's going to love this.
Was this? Was it intergenerational? Was she the grandmother?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, she's 57 and
She's my mother, actually.
she's got a
yeah.
very wealthy divorce package from her last
that's
marriage
great.
that I'm hoping to clip my ticket on. No, so she was a friend of our wine expert for that season, and he introduced me to her, and I was like, we were setting up for the show, so I was a bit like, I'm busy, but nice to meet you, but sit down.
Really?
Okay.
Wow.
I'm like, you didn't pay for a ticket, did you? Anyway, and so she saw the show, and then months later, we both just happened to be at the Edinburgh Fringe, and she was just like looking for mates, and we had each other on Instagram from that day, and she was like, are you around? And then we kind of linked up, and then, yeah.
Which is really funny because I met her that night as well, and I was like, who are you? And you were like, do you remember who? And I was like, nah. And then he was like, oh, and I was like, oh, and then here we are.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
yeah.
And what about you and yours?
Yeah, so also a friend of a friend brought her along to the show, and I ended up doing this does not happen all the time. I want to make it very clear, but we ended up doing crowd work with her
About her ex-boyfriend.
about like a dating red flag. And she called out something, and she was like, later revealed to me, she was like, I just wanted to call something else because I wanted to chat with you.
Whoa.
And I was like, hell yeah. And so we went back and forth a little bit. It was really funny, like very lighthearted stuff.
Yeah.
But they were all going out because like all the friends were sort of friends with some people working on the show. And they all went out afterwards. And the night before, we'd been to our venue in Adelaide organises a big wine tour, like a wine tasting sort of roundabout tour of the Adelaide Hills for like 7 hours during the day. And we'd been on that the night before. And so very similar story. I was like, actually, I can't be bothered tonight. I'm going to go home. And then I came in the next day, and our mate who was working on the show with us was like, oh, she's pretty annoyed you weren't at the drinks last night. And I was like, all right, I'll message her on Instagram. And then the rest is history.
Wow. So Instagram doing wonders for both of you.
Instagram doing the heavy lifting,
relationship.
very
as
heavy
per.
lifting.
And you guys are still together with these partners and all that?
Yeah.
This is,
yeah.
so
They're
the
both
Vegas,
busy.
I don't know when this airs, but yeah.
Yeah.
so the
Yeah,
coming to Vegas and going international, you haven't had the inclation. You have people sliding in your DMs, models, all different types of people. Doesn't matter.
that-
to
you
You overestimate who comes to our show.
Kate
But-
Blanchett
Yeah,
sliding in.
that's all in there. Well, I think there's like a sort of important point to make about, we talked about the idea of like being very hospitable and welcoming people into our shows. Like the vibe is not like, oh, that
Let's
person's
find
hot,
Sydney
let's-
and
like, it's-
Sydney and Ethan dates. That's not not why we started.
That's not the vibe. The vibe is just like being kind to people, being open, being
We say to our
hospitable.
door staff at the start of every show, no ugly people allowed into the venue.
Right.
That's just a door policy that we have.
It's 7 and up. That's all we need.
Right, sevens and above.
That's it. But I think like we.
I'm just thinking about our publicist listening back to this in a couple of days. when
Caprio's
this
gonna
goes-
love this. Believe me.
Like,
That's
boys, you better bury that.
Caprio's gonna love this.
I think this is the most clippable bit of the interview, I'll be honest.
No, I think this is great. I'm gonna do some stalking later just to see who these partners are for you guys. And with this, I love that for you though, Sweeney, because the fact that she even came up with she wasn't even. She just wanted to engage with you. She didn't even care. She was just like,
She's an absolute go-getter. Yeah,
I love that.
No, she's the best. And then she actually lives in America now, which is crazy. So I get to see her way more than I probably would if I lived in Melbourne. Which
wow.
is nuts.
And yours is still in.
She lives in Melbourne. She's just literally got off the plane 10 minutes ago here in Vegas.
Wow. All right. Well, you got to go see her. I know you guys brought a koala here into the studio.
We
do you
did.
Do you want to introduce our audience to?
Yeah, we've
that's a complete joke.
Yeah.
I was
What
like,
is
I
it
was
with
playing
the-
along.
I was like, did we? I was like, am I still recovering from the wine tour in Adelaide? I'm like,
That's all I know about Australia and boomerangs. You know,
it's
Jordan Mailata.
that's all you need to know, really.
Short-
And really, really high quality artistic work.
There you
Yeah.
go. Much better than Vegas is what we've learned today. We've learned,
Also, your city's art scene sucks. Anyway, come to our
we've learned a lot of things. We've learned that Australia does things at a different level than Vegas. We've learned that New Zealand and Australia, two different places.
countries.
I was, Jermaine Clement.
They're like, New
Thought
Zealand's like
you
our
guys were-
51st state, if you will. That's the kind of energy that we have.
Yeah, you got some Canada vibes. going on there.
We've learned that you can only be a 7 and above to attend this show. We've learned Decant loves you guys. They didn't give
Yeah.
you a star, but they
Decanter, yeah.
they love
Our
you.
publicist is gonna kill us.
You're
Oh
gonna kill
my
us.
god.
Yeah.
And we wish you guys the best of luck. It's Ethan. It's Sweeney. Great names, not stage names, either of you.
No.
Yeah, you look like an Ethan.
Thank you.
anybody ever told you
I
that?
don't know if that is a compliment. Because
No.
I feel I've never met an Ethan I liked, in honesty.
Me neither.
You guys are doing a great job. Go to Lighthouse Art Space, the shops at Crystals. Go check out In Poor Taste. I think it's going to be something people are going to really take to and love for years to come, hopefully here in our city and around the globe. So thank you guys so much for spending so much time with us, and go on date night. Go with your intergenerational family.
You might meet your new girlfriend.
Yeah, bring
Yes.
your girlfriend,
Or they
it might be our
steal yours,
girlfriend.
right?
Who knows?
Who knows what's going to happen? Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you spending so much time with us.
Thanks, man.
Mike.
Appreciate it.